settled on me Sword Fighter of all of those characters, as that is the character we will be seeing BeatyBean lead off with. No Wario today. It is all the me Swordy.
He literally has a Sonic. He played Sonic in 4. I don't know why Jakal's just not going to have Sonic as a secondary.
I wish I could tell you.
It makes sense. It's right there. He's a better character than he's ever been.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say what's fully going on in Jakal's head sometimes. But this wolf is here to stay, just like it seems like this me Sword Fighter is, as we started off pretty steady. We get a nice look at just what the Sword Fighter can do. Now, we got to keep an eye on the set that BeatyBean is running. This is, of course, the Shuriken and dash-in down-beak set, so you're allowed to play a much more mid-range style of game, and I think that's where he wants to play overall when it comes to a lot of the matchups that he's struggling with Wario. Getting in is hard, so might as well just not try and always force your way in.
Yeah, I mean, he's also got the Flurry Strike, too. That's a really good up special. There's actually a lot of really crazy cheese at the ledge there if BeatyBean's ready for it at any point in time. I don't know what his down special is. I assume it might be the Reflector.
No, that's the yellow thrust. That's the...
Oh, is it the thrust?
Yeah.
I don't know what else he's running then. He's missing something. I don't know what it is.
I would assume it's Chakram, but he hasn't shown it off just yet. Chakram is kind of crazy, though I know me Sword Fighters have been experimenting with a Gale Slash as a side B for even more approach options. Yet, we're just seeing that mid-range, seeing that coverage from BeatyBean as... Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, you know, if he has the Shuriken is the neutral special. The Chakram's also a neutral special, so...
Chakram side special.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the little spinny thing he just did was the side special.
That is his side special, but Chakram is also a side special. He's forfeiting.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're correct.
All right, just a jab, though, in the center. Oh, I like that a lot from Brad. He saw the miss angled from Jakal, basically gambled on the fact that Jakal was going to miss-space that and try and get back to center almost artificially. Gets a huge punish there. Though a ledge situation with Wolf is always going to be beneficial for the character able to find that ledge pressure on the F-tilt. And this game's going mighty even here. You can see the adjustments that BeatyBean is making with me Sword Fighter. It's like, all right, I have the means of keeping Wolf out sometimes, at the very least keeping the tempo alive and not just always forfeiting so much space. Please just get up and attack that. That's so scary.
He's had the lead the entire time. He's taken stock first every single time the stock has actually disappeared. It's actually been Jakal who's kind of been making that adaptation so far. I mean, Jakal, again, very patient gameplay style, but like you mentioned earlier, with the set that BeatyBean's running, he's playing more that mid-range, right? So it kind of forces Jakal to have to get aggressive at some points, which we saw at the end there. He had a nice 60% combo and was able to close that out with the back air.
Yeah. Total shutdown game at the end of game one. Just able to play much more close to the ledge than sometimes he usually does, but still very well played from Jakal to make that quick adaptation and force the switch to the Wario. I guess BeatyBean saw enough with the me Sword Fighter to think, you know, this isn't going to work for a second game. I need to pivot over to the tried and true and see what he can cook up. And already a 56% start is plenty cooking, sending him back and forth between these PS2 platforms and climbing.
I mean, we all know that Wolf's got some great horizontal movement, but like Wario just does that a little bit better. So BeatyBean's gonna have to make sure he's on top of his game, you know, floating around here to get around Jakal as best as possible. So far, looking pretty solid. 97% is nothing to scoff at, man. I mean, that's definitely quite a bit of damage. It's just a matter of trying to close out the stock now. This is where things get a little bit testy here, right? Because like we know what Jakal does, we know his gameplay style in general. It's just you got to find a way that puts him in a spot so you can close out that stock, and that's where things are going to be very, very tough for BeatyBean as we move forward.
Yeah, slowly and surely starting to recruit. Some of this damage is Jakal, though. Gotta be, you know, a rare whiff with the bike. BeatyBean usually prides himself on how expert their expertise on using some of their bike movement or movement without said bike. Gotta be, oh my lord, what a call out from Jakal. Kind of seeing that BeatyBean to try to go for a reversal in that situation and meeting him with that huge back air to close the stock. Very nice stuff, and still chasing him down, even with just lasers and dash attacks. Finally, a dash attack of BeatyBean's own, able to get that down tilt into dash attack combo, finishing stock one.
All right, well, there we go. Finds a way back to the stage, and this is where a bunch of damage is going to start going crazy here. He does have about a half waft right now. Full wop should actually be coming up very, very soon. So, I mean, hey, if he wants to hold on to that, or he can let it rip kind of soon, I think he's actually going to try and close out the stock here. I mean, I know that's what a lot of Warriors like to do, like to save it for that final stock. And right now, not looking too bad. Oh, look for the dash attack. I don't know if that's what he wanted, because I think a forward tilt would have been a great trade there.
I agree.
I'm not sure what he was attempting exactly. It could have been a misinput, but maybe he's just also just looking for the trade on the dash attack. I don't know.
But there's that full waft. As soon as this dash attack, which does close out the stock thanks to the air dodge and the blast zone from Jakal, we could be seeing huge, even earlier death percent than normal. Maybe without rage anymore, you're gonna change your combo routes, but this is still potentially a blast stock for game number 2 for Jakal if he does not play this right. Oh, gets the trip on down tilts.
If anything, this is better for BeatyBean. I mean, you don't usually practice your combos with rage as much, right? You're ready to hit your combos in a situation like that. And actually, that got a little messed up there too because he landed on the bike, which extended the hurt box, which means he wasn't able to keep that combo going that he had on Jakal, or at least try to keep a string going. So, bit of an unfortunate spot there, but still, he's not looking too bad. Ooh, this is a bad spot here for Jakal. And as you can see, losing that stock, taking the game 2. We got the cheats out here, man, and BeatyBean's having a good time doing it. I just realized he's still wearing his flannel. That's the BeatyBean special.
Oh yeah, he's got every shade of flannel that you could ever see and you could ever want. Even as we get to see a real nice replay here, like off of the get up attack, what ends up closing out this stock? But it's a very late nair that it didn't seem like Jakal was ready to get hit by. As of such, it put him into a Texas shield on the platform he wasn't ready for, and that's free real estate for Wario. Like any means to land an up air.
I mean, it's definitely something I've been seeing a lot lately, too, with PS2, is that a lot of people, they just aren't ready to get popped up onto the platform, right? Like, you just barely get up there fast enough so you're not ready to tech, which puts you in a position like we just saw. So, it's just kind of one of those weird things you got to adapt to, and just, you got to get it right in the moment. But, again, we're in game 3 here, and he's getting some decent damage. He's not going for anything super crazy yet, but, I mean, like, you kind of want to save that towards the end of the game anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I love these from BeatyBean. These the willingness to pressure the ledge, whether with more than just forward tilt. We used to see that a lot, where it's just like forward tilt and pray, trying to hit the 2-frame. But now we're seeing a lot more down airs. We're seeing a lot more attempts at intercepting before he even gets to ledge. Same thing with Jakal here, though, getting the hitbox extension on the bike, but BeatyBean responds in turn. A very scrappy, heavy game at the start of this game 3, but more and more wolf flashes coming out from Jakal. Unable to finish his sweep just yet, though. That dash attack, not yet.
All right, but he's got the bike ready to rock here. Tried to call him out. Almost getting the shield poke on that forward tilt, actually.
Both of their shields are getting super low here. Oh my, a little bit of plenty of, in fact, spaghetti. The jab's the wrong way, the missed punish. And here we go back to center. BeatyBean landing with the cross up. Wow, the risks on all hands. I guess Jakal didn't want to pull the trigger, risking the hitbox extension, leaving him open. Instead, just takes the grab.
Yeah, you got BeatyBean kind of running for his life here, trying to find the right opening possible. And I mean, again, with Jakal, it's kind of hard to get your opening against him. I mean, 161 now. You know, I do like the fact that he ate the first laser, but he still ended up losing the stock in the long run here. But 126, honestly, not too bad. I think he's got full waft, or it's coming up very, very soon. So we'll have to see if he can try to close out these next couple stocks. There it is. Yeah. Honestly, he could let it rip right now because this is already a much slower game. Well, not right now. Yeah. Get the stock out of the way and then get it the next stock.
I would say, like, closing it out on second stock here, especially after that full combo from Jakal, but the up smash is also a huge commitment from BeatyBean, who was doing such a good job in game 2 of not committing that hard to take out the stock. Here, it's like you're hitting, going for the hit confirms before you land the hit, trying to snipe with down air, and that is why you don't always make those big risks. Because while it works out in some cases, Jakal can just hold down, and you have to contest with that big Firewolf hitbox that is so hard to contest.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a rough spot there, but man, dude, Beatty is struggling to close out the stock here. There we go. That's what he was looking for before, but he just ended up getting caught up in like the weirdest hitbox trade scenario. I mean, that definitely is very rough. I mean, honestly, you should probably still try to look for the full watch here, get your combo if you can, and then just try to go for a half block later on. But right now, I mean, honestly, as long as he starts getting his hits going, this is a relatively even game. Jeez, the instant wolf flash. Okay.
This is going to be... a defensive option from Ledge here. I keep thinking that BeatyBean is going to be looking for these nairs, looking for these starters of some kind, and there's the falling up air that Wario mains are looking to hit. Jakal trying to get a huge stuff with that forward smash. It's not finding it, but he still is able to use Wolf's giant hitboxes to stuff out these attempts. So much so that BeatyBean is getting a little bit desperate with some of these wafts, with that waft attempt. And with that out of the way, Jakal has very little to worry about in the latter half of this game. He just needs to take it slow and let Wario's come to him.
Yeah. I mean, Bean's definitely doing a decent job right now, though. I mean, he's being somewhat careful. You're going to take damage from Jakal regardless of the scenario. But yeah, Jakal's definitely taking his time. He knows how much time and space he's got to work with here. Almost losing a stock there, but good DI is going to keep him alive just a little bit longer on the second stock. And he's starting to fish a little too much for these up smashes.
Yeah, he's expecting, I think, jumps out of shield from BeatyBean, but who's playing it rather slow. That wheeling, popping a wheelie there, maybe trying to armor through a grounded option that he could think Jakal would go for, but he instead the jump over back air is just the realest punish that you could ever ask for if you're a Wolf player. Like, if any means to land a sweet spot back air, regardless of percent, and at 138, it's definitely doing, or higher at this point.
Well, either way, good
nice
stuff to Jakal here, kind of bunkering down game 3, closing it out. BD definitely a couple of pretty serious flubs. But I mean, when you're fighting against one of the best players in the U.S. right now, Jakal, I mean, I know they battle each other often, but like you got to be on top of your game the whole way through. You can't just kind of have a good game and then a couple of good moments in another game. You got to be on top of it the entire way. But either way, yep, that is a game 3 win for Jakal. So we'll be moving on to the winners finals, and we got our next match coming up here. It's gonna be Vivi taking on Haven.
Yeah, so Haven entered under the very fun tag of Digital Devil Saga Avatar, which is it's Haven. It's still Haven. It's still the Wario player, but he's the / Corrin